right, Shalom Israel. We the I.S.U.P.K. come out of 1 West on the 25th Street under Commander Yahanna. This is the I.S.U.P.K. Atlanta class, the history class. And, today we're going to break down the women's liberation movement, all of the, because, today is the, Women's Month or whatever, Women's Liberation Month. So we're going to break down, try to break down this whole movement that the women have been a part of, you know what I'm saying? All right, with that, hey, can you read for me?
No comment.
All right. You got a sword? Yeah, come up one step up here, come up one chair up here so they can hear you. All right, give me Genesis chapter 2, verse 24.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife.
So this is the beginning of time. This is when the Most High set out, right? This said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife. Keep going.
And they shall be one flesh.
And they should be one flesh. That's saying that now they are one. For whatever goes on with one of them happens to the other one. They have become one. They have intertwined once they lay with that woman, right? Go to Genesis 3 for me and read that for me.
Mm-hmm. Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Okay. It said the serpent was the most subtle beast, right? So now we're talking about Adam and Eve. Who was the serpent in the Adam and Eve? Anybody know what the serpent was in Adam and Eve?
Suckers are a man.
Right. Give me a little more. What you got?
Esau. Like serpent.
It wasn't Esau. Esau wasn't born yet.
Yeah, Esau born
Suckers are a man with the spirit of Esau.
Khan, there you go.
All right.
He was the spirit of Esau, right? That's who he came in as, the serpent. He came to deceive Eve, right? And what did he tell Eve? What did he tell her? Anybody know what he told her? Oh, we're going to go ahead and read. Keep reading.
Which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Yep, he said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Have God not said that? This was the serpent said, right? He said, he's like, man, has this guy said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden, right? That's what he's saying, like. Keep going.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Okay. So he said, the woman saying back to him, right? He said, we may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, right? Keep going.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it.
So this is what God's saying, right? How did she get this message? How does she know this? How does she know she's not supposed to eat that? Go ahead. Khan, her husband told her, you ain't supposed to eat that fruit off that tree, right? Which we all know this is not, this is not, scripture breakdown class. We would break that down more But just short breakdown, this isn't talking about literal fruit. This is talking about they were serving other gods. You got me? They're talking about this was looking at how to serve other gods and everything, right? That's what this is talking about. So the serpent said you don't need to look at just serving this one God. Look at this fruit of this tree. You can eat from this other fruit, right? You can eat from this other fruit. Serve these other gods, right? Keep going.
Neither shall you touch it, lest ye die.
Lest ye die. What is death according to the Bible? Death is you sinning against the Most High, right? That's death, because he's cutting you off, right? Keep reading.
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
So now the serpent saying, oh man, he ain't say that. That ain't true. So now he going against what the Most High God said. How is this not what the so-called the same spirit of Esau? How is it not the same spirit of Esau? He teaching you to go against what the Most High said. You clearly were taught this is what the Most High said. And now he said something completely contrary. That's how he's the devil. That's what the devil is, right? It's a deceiver. He literally telling you the complete opposite of what the Most High said. Keep going.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof.
So now he's saying something contrary. He's trying to bring something up to this woman, make her think something, right? For God knows something, right, that you may not know. Keep going.
Then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So now he said, okay, the reason why the Most High don't want you to read this, why he don't want you to take this fruit, right? Is because now your eyes gonna be open. He don't want you to have your eyes open, right? He don't want you to be as a God. But here's the thing, he's not lying in the whole sentence. Read that again. He said, go where it says your eyes will be open.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Yep.
And ye shall be as gods.
What does it mean, opening your eyes? What does that mean, opening your eyes? Go ahead.
Knowing.
Yeah, you go, because right now, God wants you to close your eyes. He wants you to close your eyes against them other, against these other religions, right? He wants you to close your eyes. He wants you to, like, right now, when we look at seeing all the other heathens serving the other gods, right? He wants us to just close our eyes and keep going the other way, right? He wants your eyes closed, right? Keep going.
Knowing good and evil.
So he said, you're going to know good and evil, which is true. You're going to know the good side of the Most High, and you're going to know the evil side. But you see how the devil, he tries to input what attracts a woman. He know how to entice that woman, right? He just enticed her, said, and ye will be as a god. That's all he had to say right there, right? And you will be as a god, knowing good and evil. Now he knows that she's going to know good and evil because she's going to learn what evil is from the Most High is. But he mixed it in. He trying to make it like, you're going to know good and evil, but you're going to be a god knowing it. See what I'm saying? Keep going.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired. So now she looked at this tree, right? He saw it was good for it was good for eating, right? It was pleasant to her. So she's looking at serving all these other gods. It's pleasant to her, right? Let me make sure the conference call. Okay, we got a couple people on here now. So now she's looking and saying it looks good to her, right? It's pleasant to the eyes. Keep going. To make one wise.
Hey, what that sound like? That sound like, I don't know if you ever dealt with like a woman in conscious community. She want, like, they'll tell you all the time, you got to learn a little bit of the Bible. You got to learn a little bit of Islam. You got to learn a little bit of that. That makes you more wise. See what I'm saying? I even heard one chick say, you know, that's only 1 degree of wisdom. You got to get all 365 degrees of wisdom. So you got to learn how to get from everywhere. What does that sound like, right? And it make somebody wise, right? Keep reading.
She took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
So now she took it and she ate it. She like, man, that look good. That's going to make me wiser than any, you know what I'm saying, than what, you know, this God over here was keeping me from. He didn't want me to be this. What this sound like? This the first case of feminism in the Bible, right? This is the first case. This is the first recorded history of feminism. All right, keep going.
And gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So now he gave it. Now she gave it to her husband. So now she went. So if you look at this, this is showing the actual history and understanding of feminism. So now what she wants is she wants a way to be more powerful, and then now she wants to be like, yeah, come join me. See what I'm saying? Now she's leading her husband now into something, when before her husband was leading her into the truth. Now she's leading her husband into falsehood and serving other gods. See what I'm saying? Keep going.
And the eyes of them both were open.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that they were naked.
They knew they were naked. Right? They knew something changed, right? They knew that they did this thing, right? They knew they felt shame. That's what this naked in this scripture means. They feel naked and shame because of what they just did. Just like these women, they go around teaching, saying that you need to, you know, God, you know, the black woman is God, and then you start getting on with them and getting onto that craft. Like men they don't want to admit it, but they feel shame because they going around following these women, following, you know, whatever because you know when a woman, when she has like a spiritual belief, she will go and change it from time to time. Depends on what she wishes. So today she gonna be on this trip. Next day she gonna be on this, you know, on this understanding of something else, right? Keep going.
And they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
What verse you had up? Oh, you about to go on 8. Go.
Verse 7,
you hold on 1 second. Okay. Now, just to you know, for time's sake, now the Most High saw them and everything, and he said, you know, they see them, so they knew that they were naked, and now they saying, you know, I hid myself, and you know, and he's trying to say, who said you was naked and all of this, and now this is what go to verse 12.
And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
So now he's saying, now he giving up his masculinity. You see this? Which is what feminism really is. It's about the woman usurping the man's authority. How could, you know what I'm saying, a woman has to usurp a man's masculinity to be a feminist. Y'all see that? So now he just said, you know what, this woman, it was her fault. What is that? Effeminate, right? Keep going.
And the Lord God said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done?
Okay.
And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat.
So now just the same way as the man just did. Everybody, what they doing? Passing the buck, passing the buck, passing the buck. See what I'm saying? That you to pass the buck on somebody else is always being effeminate. See what I'm saying? They just passing it on. Passing on. It went from Adam, then it went to Eve, then it went to the serpent. Where neither one of them, at any point of them, anytime somebody could have said, don't eat that. Don't eat that fruit. See what I'm saying? Keep going.
And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this,
Yep.
thou art cursed above all cattle.
Okay. Hold on. Go to verse 15.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And between
Hold on one second. Somebody go look that word up. Enmity. Look that up for me. You don't have it yet? All right, I got it. Don't worry. A feeling or condition of hostility, hatred, ill will, animosity, antagonism. You got that? So, go ahead. I'll put enmity. You keep going.
between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
It was a breakdown on that. I can't quite remember it. The general was breaking it down. I can't quite remember it. But if it comes to me while I'm teaching, I'll bring it out. But yeah, you shall bruise thy head, and they're saying that she shall bruise his heel. I'm sorry, I think it was verse 1. Anyway, because he was talking to the serpent. So, all right, drop that. Now, hold on a second. Hey, Erskine, have what's the brother in there coming over here for me real quick? The brother in there, go ahead, the brother, come up here real for me real quick. All right. Everybody get into feminism. All right, come up here. I need you to read these topics when I read them. When I put up on here.
Well, come on. 1 second.
All right. What's going on? Huh? Yeah, that's fine. You go on Shamar. I'll let Kataya read.
Oh.
You hold on, Shamar.
Okay.
All right, come on now. All right. Hoping my phone don't die anytime soon, but I'll try to keep on going. Wikipedia. All right. Who joined the line? Hold on a second. Maybe it just ended. Huh? Do you got the Wi-Fi connection here?
Most likely, I don't have that, sir.
You got to get a signal.
Should be good.
Okay. You can call the conference call number. All right. We're gonna call it. All right. I'll just get on reading this though. Read that from right there.
You are the first participant on the Super Conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
All right, go ahead. Read that for me.
History of feminism. The history of feminism comprises the narratives of the movement and ideologies which have aimed at equal rights for women.
Okay. That's the history of feminism, right? It says they have the equal rights for women. On the it's on the surface, that sounds really good, right? Women should have equal rights, right? They should be able to work. What's some of the different topics that women want to have, right? Give me a couple topics that women want to have when it comes to equal rights.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Equal pay.
Okay. Equal pay is one of them, right? Equal pay, that's a big one. But the funny thing about equal pay is there is no such thing as equal pay. What I mean by that is there is no pay disparity between the women and men. There is no pay disparity. That has been disproven over and over, but it's just used to make women feel like a victim, right? Just like how Eve was in the garden. But look, let's go back to it. What did she want? She wanted to be a god, right?
Right.
Right.
And then now, you read that in verse 5, she wanted to be a god, right? But in verse 13, the serpent beguiled me. He tricked me. How you going to be a god and a victim at the same time?
Right.
See what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, keep reading.
While feminists around the world have different in causes, goals, and intentions depending on time, culture, and country, most Western feminist historians assert that all movements that work to obtain women's rights should be considered feminist movements, even when they did not apply to them or to them. Apply to them to themselves. Some of the historians limit the term feminist to the modern feminist movement and its progeny, and use the label proto-feminist to describe earlier movements.
So that's powerful right there, see? It's stuff going on Western feminist movements, because you all know this is pretty much European. When they say Western, that's just another word for European, right? Have different goals. Huh? Okay, yep. In country, most Western movements. They assert that all movements that work to obtain women's rights should be considered, right? All movements. Even when they did not or do not apply the term to themselves. So they want to have the movements even if they don't consider themselves a feminist. Y'all catch that?
Right.
They want the benefits, but they don't want to be involved with the movement. Y'all understand that? Don't that kind of sound like women to you? They want the benefits of it, but they don't want to actually do the work. That's basically what it's saying. Keep going.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
So that's like they don't, like you're saying, they want the benefits but don't want to do the work, so they want to be spoiled. They
Exactly.
still want to be women that are taken care of.
Yep. But they want all of their movements to be considered.
Right.
And what are they movements? Equal pay, right? Which is not really equal pay, they want higher pay.
Right.
What are some other things they want? For abortion?
In Slovakia, they want to have the ability to do the same jobs.
They don't want to do the same jobs.
Well, they want to be able to apply in the same workforce as men.
Let me reroute it on there for you real quick. What they want is they want to do the easier jobs and get paid the same as the harder jobs that men do. That's more, let me redirect that. That's more what they want. Like the jobs that really pay a good amount of money, they don't want those jobs because those jobs are usually dangerous, use more body movement. They don't want construction jobs typically. You know what I'm saying? They want jobs that are typically sitting down at a desk. They'll be an attorney. They'll be a doctor, all of that. But they don't want to be a construction worker. They don't want to go into coal mines. They don't want to build buildings. They'll do interior design, though.
Right. So, like, what about the
Yeah.
military?
Yeah, even if going to the military, they'll go to the men go and actually fight, right? And then the women will say I think I saw one time women were trying to be in like some of the, like the Navy SEALs and stuff like that. And so because of the women's movement, right, they actually started letting them in and letting them try out. They got to do everything exactly the same way as men does. And guess what? Not one has made it. They all have quit. They have tried. Because women or men aren't the same. You can't do what men do. That's why they have an NBA and a WNBA. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have these things. Right?
They look to be equal or above the man in the household.
Yeah, they want the power. They want the power and all of that without the work.
Con, sir.
See
Shalom,
that?
y'all on.
Go ahead, Doc.
Shalom, Lord in Christ. Triple Kashan checking in.
Okay. Who else is on the call? Anybody else on the call?
Hey, Khalil, how about there? Main left.
All right. Got you. Anybody else? All right.
One more thing.
All right, go ahead
One of the
quickly.
main things, sir,
Uh-huh.
they want to be independent. They're single women. They want to be independent.
Yeah, they want to be independent.
Yahanna.
Was that up?
If I may, the women, they also want to be reverends and bishops.
Yeah, they want to be reverends and bishops, right? But the Most High said you're not supposed to come. You're not supposed to even come in the temple while you're unclean. How you gonna do the work of a reverend or bishop? Make that make sense. You got 7 days out the whole month. You can't work. Right? All right, keep going.
Modern Western feminist history is conventionally split into 3 time periods, or waves, each with slightly different aims based on prior progress. First wave of feminism of the 19th and early 20th century focused on overturning legal inequalities, particularly addressing issues of women's suffrage.
What is women's suffrage? Anybody know what that means? All right, women's suffrage is basically they wanted to be able to vote, right?
Oh, con, sir.
They wanted to be able to vote. And this is the 19th and early 20th centuries. So when you look at the 19th and 20th, they're talking about the 1800s and the 18 and the 1900s. All right? So pertaining legal, these were legal inequalities, right? So here's what would happen during this time. Let me just ask you, were these white women or black women complaining?
Sir, white women.
Kind. These were white women complaining. Do you know why they were complaining? They were complaining because basically this white man that they had will go basically use them, treat them like crap, dog them out, only use them just for procreation, but these were wealthy women with wealthy husbands, right?
Con, sir.
They lived very well. They lived in the mansions and all of that. They lived good. You got me? And then what would happen is they would get beat on by that man, and then now they wanted to have something so that they can fight back against that. They didn't want to get abused and dogged out like they were, because they were basically, they'll have parties and have all these things. Like, what do rich people do? They go get drunk, they get high, they get with their friends, sniff cocaine, correct? That's what they do. They get all this stuff. And then what do? They come invite the prostitutes in, and they'll go lay with all these different women, right? Mess with all of them. And they women got to be stuck at home trying to take care of the kids, their husband having a good time. So this first wave of feminism was literally just so that they can have some of that same power. These were not poor women. These were typically rich women. You may not even say that on here. Might even say it on here. I don't have time to get into it, but that's basically what happened. They wanted that power. They wanted to be able to come and do all that same thing. They even wanted to have the orgies. See what I'm saying? They wanted to have orgies with different men and women. But then here's the thing. These women, these aren't like feminine women that they have. These are women that are like, how do I put it? If the serpent is our oppressor, right? You said the serpent is our oppressor. How would this woman be? You get what I'm saying? This is his woman. So his woman wants power as well, but she wants to be on that same, she wants to be just as sick as he is. So he don't think that they're laying up and having sex with just women. They bringing in little boys, little girls, all of this stuff. Just like a lot of it's starting to get into black women now, but before white women, Caucasian, whatever you want to call it, European, they always had a lesbian woman fantasy. They were the ones that made it popularized, that even made the black women start wanting to do it. It wasn't black women first, right? Then over time, because of feminism, black women start getting into it. See what I'm saying?
Salaki, sir, if I may.
Right.
If you're familiar with this, I believe in one of the classes they were teaching on, it's an island or something called the island of Lesbo. Are you familiar with that, sir?
Mm-mm.
And basically, it was a woman who started it, and I can't expound on it further than that. But it was in one of the classes, and I didn't know that, but yes, it was a woman who started that.
Island of Lesbo. And the powerful thing that's about, lesbians, a lot of people don't even know about lesbians, is that basically when it comes to that, or even homosexuality, see, this is what brought in homosexuality. See what I'm saying? This brought it in because basically when homosexuals, what they want to do is, how do women become homosexuals first of all? How do people become homosexuals?
Salaki, sir. They have to do the act.
Before that.
Oh, Salaki, most of them have been molested.
Exactly. This comes from women being raped and taken advantage of. And because these were women that was raised in these different, you gotta think, like I said, during this time, you gotta think of it. Wealthy women that were born rich, married into wealthy other men's homes, right? So what was happening in those homes? They was giving up these little girls to get molested by their friends.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So now when that happens, it creates a complex inside of women that now they want to be the ones that go and they get more masculine traits. And they start wanting to go and try to be the man in this in the relationship. All right? No, I was trying. It was in here earlier. I saw it here earlier, but look up cult of domesticity. Okay, read that from right there.
Come on, sir. Cult of domesticity.
Mm-hmm.
The cultures of domesticity, or cult of true womanhood, is a term used by historians to describe what they consider to have been a prevailing value system among the upper and middle classes during the 19th century in the United States.
I found this word reading about feminism. What's this talking about? Keep reading.
Khan. This value system emphasizes new ideals of femininity, the woman's role within the home, and the dynamics of work and family. True women, according to this idea, were supposed to possess 4 cardinal virtues: piety, purity, domesticity, and submissiveness.
Yep.
The ideal revolved around the woman being the center of the family. She was considered the light of the home.
See, this was the beginning of all of this, right? This was literally the beginning of it. But this was only in rich neighborhoods. This was not in poor black neighborhoods. All right. Just making sure nobody got any questions on here in the chat. All right. So, read this right here.
Khan. The women and men who mostly actively promoted these standards were generally white and Protestant.
White and Protestant. White Christian women of the higher middle class and upper class. Right? It wasn't no poor. What they say? Keep reading. What they say about black women?
The most prominent of them lived in New England and the northern United States.
Yep.
Although all the women were supposed to emulate this idea of femininity, black working class and immigrant women were often excluded from the definition of true women because of social prejudices.
So why are black women trying to go with basically feminism? They basically left them out of it. They left them out of feminism. They didn't want them to be a part of it, right? Because they looked at you as you was a low social class. Why you care about feminism? Because like I said, it was not based upon It was not based upon. This was not for black women. Never was and never will be. That's why they even start coming out with black feminism, because the white feminism that he came out with had nothing to do with black women. All right? Okay. Because you got to remember the thing about a lot of these, during these times, like being a whore was looked upon as bad. It's not like today being a whore is like Taco Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's easy. It's whatever.
They embrace it.
Yeah, it's embracing. Like, yeah, you not a hoe? Why not? Why you holding yourself for? He ain't no good, no way. Why you trying to keep yourself together for somebody? He ain't no good. Men ain't nothing.
Right.
Shoot. You the queen. You the queen. You the guy.
Right.
You want to say that?
Yeah, girl, you can be coming to the club and making money at the club.
Yeah. That's the truth. All right. And then because here's what this was like the first wave of feminism, right? Now we merging into the second wave. Now it starts getting more into abortion, women's rights to choose, all of these different things, right? They didn't want it to be they didn't want it to be slanderful for them to be a whore, because they got tired of being labeled a whore. I don't want to say it because they're gonna try to block us off the internet, but the word, the DYKE word. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be called that, right? They didn't want to have to deal with the shame of being there. So now they wanted it to be. So now here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to change the shame over from them being immoral, nasty, or whatever, to now if you try to tell them, if you try to tell them they shouldn't do it, you the one that need to have shame. See what I'm saying? All right.
Salaki, sir, if that's heavy what you're saying, if I may, it's pointing to how they've reversed it to where you're saying what they're shaming them because it's something that they want to do, but then they turn it to you so that you then don't have an ability to defend.
Yep.
It's so you don't defend the word of God.
Yep.
Because if you try to show them, hey, this is what you're doing, by telling them this, they don't want to hear it, and then they try to shame you. You lose your job.
Yep.
So in turn, it's giving them power.
So basically, they became men, right? They became the enforcers, and that's what they wanted to be. It had nothing to do with equal rights. They wanted superior rights, right? So, because like even back during this time, what was the state of black people? We was getting along. We was building stuff. How you think we was able to do all of this? Million Man March and all of this. I think you might want to read the time frame for them so they know what the time frame this is.
The second wave of feminism, 1960s to 1980s, broadened the debate to include cultural iniquities, inequalities, gender norms, and the role of women in society.
So now they wanted to change the gender norms, right? They wanted the women to be the leader of the household now. They wanted to get rid of the cultural inequalities, which is, it started being about black women because they wanted black women to join them. But at first they wanted to be like, okay, women stay at home and watch the kids and take care of the house, and men go out and work. They wanted to start switching that up. See what I'm saying? They want to change the culture, right? They wanted to be able to have that power. They wanted to put the pants on, right? But then here's the thing. What crazy part is, if you tell a woman and say she a feminist, you say, hey, well, you a feminist, okay, you pay for my lunch. You open up my door for me. What they gonna tell you?
Salaki.
That's your job.
Exactly. They'll say, hell no.
No.
What's why is that's inequality? Like you think all the time. Do you think men like? I mean, I don't really. I'm not saying I don't, but I don't do it the same way as I used to before I came in the truth. Like you open up women. How did y'all like opening up women for them just to walk by all entitled and act like you was supposed to open the door and just walk right by? Don't even say thank you. Did y'all enjoy that?
Lie, sir.
Is that enjoyment for you?
Sir.
Right? But then you ask them like, why don't you do the same for me? They don't say, hell no, that's what you supposed to do. So they want to keep the gender roles that you supposed to help them benefit, but they don't want to keep the ones that makes it so men want to do it. So instead of doing something and becoming what men want them to be, to make them want to do those things, they want to shame you into not doing it, into doing it, and still act how they want to act.
So when you do get a man to bow down to them, like if it's out in public and a man does something, a lot of women be like, oh, his mama raised him right.
Yeah, they'll say his mama raised him right, but a lot of the stuff that they say that is in a response to him bowing himself to a woman, right? It's always that he raised him right. Oh, you're not supposed to talk or cuss at a woman. This woman raised him right, but she can call you whatever she want to call you. F nigga this, F nigga that, and nothing happens, right? You're supposed to just deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, now when we so I start saying, okay, your father didn't raise you right.
Yep, they'll say, yeah. They blame the man. Your father ain't raised you right. He ain't got nothing to do with your mama now. If it's something bad, your father ain't raised you right? So even got so bad that like during the first wave of feminism, the prohibition, y'all know how the prohibition came, right? Was because of feminism. Prohibition came up because men was beating the hell out of their women so much, they wanted to make it illegal. So guess what happened? They still was beating the hell out of them. Like,
Talking so sober.
it's crazy. Yeah, just, no, they still was getting drunk, but then it made organized crime.
All kinds of.
So it just shows that it's not. It just shows like the wisdom of the truth, because like when it comes down to that, you can't go by the standards that they're looking to try to have and try to make it a just kingdom. See what I'm saying? You can't go by this. Okay, we're gonna get rid of alcohol. We're gonna think it so none that alcohol don't happen or whatever. But that's not the reason why men are beating their wives. See what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with them getting drunk. They still, rich people still gonna get alcohol. They rich. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But they just wanted to make it illegal. All right?
They can afford it, son.
Exactly. Okay. So I got here. What a good amount of notes on this. So the biggest thing they wanted to fight against was misogyny, patriarchy, and sexism. Right? You all right up?
It's like a kind of
All right. Go ahead. Give me Exodus 3 and 15. Let's go here. Exodus.
Kind of a concert. The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 15.
Hold on. Is that what I put on there? It might be 13. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Make sure. Oh, you can read that. That's around 3 and 15.
Khan. The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 15. And God said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Lord God of your fathers.
Your fathers. What does that say? Your fathers. Not your mothers, right? Keep reading.
Khan. The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac,
Okay.
and the God of Jacob.
And God of Jacob. Keep going.
Khan has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
So he said his memorial to all generations. Give me Ezekiel 34 and 31. You gotta do it. Ezekiel. I do that. Go to Ezekiel. See it? Ezekiel 34. And go to 31 for me.
Khan, sir. 31.
34, 31, my bad. 34, 31.
Khan, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord, God.
So this is the Most High telling you. He said, the men of my pasture, the ones that lead my people, are men. They're not women, right? For all these reasons that we reading right now, right? Now go to, drop that, go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Anybody got any questions on anything so far? See if anything online yet? Table of contents.
Okay.
I go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
Khan, the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Verse 4.
So that's saying that this is the way how it's supposed to be. The reason why those women were getting beaten because they was with their counterparts, demons, the devils, just like them, right? That's why they were getting beaten. All right. Now, so with all that being said, there's one more I think I want you to get. Hold on a second. I'll get that for you 1 second. Okay. With all that being said, what does the feminist movement take from society? Anybody know? What does it take from women? What does it take from men?
Salaki.
The masculinity.
What does it take for? Let's go for women first. What does it take from women?
The femininity.
Exactly, but give me some examples.
They want to be lesbian. They don't want to be with a man.
That's one.
Salaki. If I may, sir, it takes away their submissiveness.
That's true. That's true. Okay. It takes away. What you about to say? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, like you just piggyback on earlier, they pretty much like strong and independent and all that.
Mhm.
You can get all the benefits from that, but at the same time, something go wrong. Be like, well, I'm just a woman. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But it's convenient for them to, you know what I'm saying, to play one side of the fence and the other side of the fence.
You're right. It's right. It keeps them right in the middle. It keeps them more. It's a way of. It keeps them more illogical than they were before. It doesn't, because the feminist movement, it doesn't teach women how to better get along with their husbands and even other women. It doesn't teach them how to get along with other women. Do they still fight and can't get along with each other? They don't teach them nothing, right? And that's the thing. Like I said, it doesn't teach them how to get along with their husbands, who they need for survival, right? We're going to, and then what does it also take from men?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
It takes their strength away from them. It takes their masculinity.
Is that it takes away their need of wanting to protect anything. Why do you want to protect somebody act like they don't need you? And what does that make men do?
I would say for society as a whole, it takes away order.
That's another thing. Takes away order. So now it takes away order. Why do you want? And it's like, because men, like a lot of times too, feminists have, because it teaches you how to be selfish, really. Teach you how to be selfish. It tells you how to go by just your emotions, but because these women, they could have went to the table and said, this is what we need. We need this, this, and this. And men could have been logical and said, okay. But they still want to be women, right? But they still want the benefits of women, but they want to be as men. But here's the thing of it is, they don't understand that these things that come with consequences, because men and women are not equal. We're not the same. Men can lay with different women, right? And it doesn't really affect them psychologically. Once women do it, you start noticing the most manly women are the women that had the most men, right? You start noticing these things. They be the most masculine because they've had the most men. See what I'm saying? All right. And then, so with all this being said, the sexual promiscuity start leading into the homosexual culture. Y'all see how all of this stuff start tying in? Like you see the feminist culture and the homosexual culture, they like this. They tight. They love one another. See what I'm saying? Because neither one of those, because here's the issue. How does a feminist make, how do I put it right? How does a feminist get power? How do they have to get power? What's the way to get power? I know.
Lesbianism?
Well, Salaki, sir, if I may, they have to show themselves to have authority over man.
Exactly. They got to take your manhood. Like, if you notice, you listen to some feminists, they want to put a man in a compromising situation. They'll say, I'm talking about vulgar. Like, I've even heard, I just learned this term. They said, how about I come and peg you? I don't want to talk about it, but you can look it up on your own turn, your own time. They will say this in the middle of an argument. Let me come and do this to you. They want to take your masculinity. That's how they get their power. So who best to support?
I heard about that before. Peggy.
You got it now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nah, sir. But
You
imagine
can look it up. I mean, I ain't gonna talk about it here because we are the Lord in here. But anyway, you can look it up on your own time. But let's just say it's emasculating, extremely, and that's the way that they got to do it. And then, who better to support than homosexual men? They want men to be homosexual and be effeminate so they can gain their power. Y'all understand that? See how that all works? It's like it allows them to be illogical, but then it allows them to, now this if you think about it, it's a very devious move. They start supporting the homosexuals. Like it's almost like the two people you can't, I guess it's three people you can't say nothing against in America, right? You can't really say nothing against the fake Jews. You can't say nothing against mostly white women, not necessarily black women, but Caucasian women.
Right.
And you can't say nothing against homosexuals. Right? They becoming part of that class. You can't talk about, like, you even seen how everybody was crying because remember that oppressor cop killed the black man in his own house? Remember that? And they was rubbing her hair, loving on her.
They was in the courtroom.
Yeah, loving on her.
Right.
Why they wasn't hugging this man? He just lost his brother.
Right.
Just lost his family member over an accident.
Right. It was a lot
That she did.
The thing is, he was talking about, I forgive. He was talking about, I don't want her to go to jail or something, and he forgave her too or something. The brother did.
And that's the problem. We so easy, we forgive like that. Like I said, they become a protected class. Who knows out of any class who gets the least amount of jail time?
Salakia, white woman.
Exactly. Just say oppressor women.
Salakia, so
YouTube and stuff here. Your oppressor women, right? Slave master women. They historically get the lowest sentences, right? Okay.
It's like Tomei, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What you just brought up is so heavy because it makes me think about the Black Lives Matter movement and who is at the forefront of them, and how they have integrated the Black Lives Matter movement into a homosexual movement, which that's what it's been from the beginning.
Exactly.
It was never really about black men. It was about gay black women, Salakia, incorporating their lifestyle into exert power over these men.
Mm-hmm. Anybody don't know, Black Lives Matter is a lesbian movement. It's not for black men. They make it seem like it's for black men, but you can go on there. It's for the woman and child.
Correct.
You can go on their own credo. It tells you they only for the woman and child. They ain't got nothing about a man, but they started Black Lives Matter in a term of black men getting killed by the police. But they don't even have it concern enough to put you in their own on the website. Do you realize they had that wasn't on purpose? Like, this wasn't an accident. They literally, because when you make websites and everything, you got to tell these people what you want to say, how you want it to come off. You got to put your own stuff in there, and that's what they put the woman and child. They had nothing to do with your black line, but they march on there. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, right? But only the women and children matter, not the black men that they was talking about, marching about, right?
It's lucky, sir. To piggyback off of some of that, one of the things that I also realized with the feminist movement, as comparing to adding it to the Black Lives Matter movement, the oppressor woman, she wanted to have equality, so to speak, with the oppressor man. But what it made the black woman do was hate the black man. The oppressor woman didn't hate
Oh no, she don't hate white. They don't hate their men. Not like sisters do. They don't hate their men. Right? They never do the same thing. They do that, but they'll talk down harder to, even black men than they would even their own men, right? And their own men was the ones that was oppressing them. But if you see a different stuff, they'll come harder at a black man than they will even a oppressor man, right? And then so this is like basically feminism is the oppressor woman's arm of white supremacy. That's really what it is. It's all the same thing. Just how we, the oppressor man's agenda, like what he is, he wasn't like, because he's more masculine. So he wanted to, what I'm saying? I mean, he's not the masculine like that, but he's more masculine than a woman. I will give him that at least, what I'm saying? Most of the time. So what his thing is, he wants to take over. So he'll go and force black men. You got to go work for me. You got to be a slave. I'm going to do this. And this is the one here now. Guess what his woman did? He took control of the women's minds. Start telling them, you don't really need your man. And matter of fact, give me that one scripture. Give me this one scripture. It's called, so I can find it real quick. So I can find it. Matthew 12:29.
Come on, John, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Or else, how can one enter into the strong man's house
Mm-hmm.
and spoil his goods?
How could it says this is Christ speaking. This is the red, right?
Come on, sir.
So how can a man enter? I mean, how can somebody enter into a man's house, right, and spoil his goods? One of his goods is his woman. The woman is the property of the man, right? That's his goods.
Come on, God.
How can he come and spoil? Spoil means to destroy, right? Keep reading.
Come on, God. Except he first bind the strong man.
What?
Bind the strong man.
He had to bind the strong man. So this is his oppressor. This is his woman's thought is. She coming in to bind the strong man. This is just another way of doing it, right? Because like I said, this all the stuff that was going on. What was going on during these women's movements? You got to look at all of the history. A lot of times we don't know what all was happening. You got to look at what's going on in the 1960s and 70s. At this time, black people were getting married at a rate of what, like 80%? 80% married, women having children in wedlock, 80-some percent, right? And the oppressor women was like at 60 or something like that. So we was beating them out and getting married, right? Staying with each other. Even the man he might have had him, another woman, but guess what men didn't do? We were like, that's Mr. Johnson's wife, and that's his lady. And nobody touched him, right? I mean, I knew this. My godfather had, he been with the same two women, I don't even know how long. Like, seriously, same ones. One woman was on this side of town, and he lived with his wife across the street from me. So, but they don't mess with his women. We have respect for one another, right? So then what ends up happening is, time comes during Vietnam. Look up when Vietnam, let's look up when Vietnam happened. No, you can't look it up on there. Vietnam War. Dates. It's from 1955 to 1975. So right there in them 40s to the 60s, this was going on. So now you look at different things that's happening. So they shipping men to go fight in this war, right? Shipping black men as well, shipping them. I know my uncles, they both got drafted into the war, right? I mean, all three of them actually. One of them, he broke his leg, so he didn't have to go, purposely, of course. But the rest of them, they end up having to go in there. They end up not getting too messed up or whatever, but they end up getting drafted into the war, right? So then now the men that's getting left, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the women getting left by themselves. So now, at the same time, World War II, the job markets went really high up, right? This is the 40s, 50s, and 60s. The job markets was very plentiful, right? Because of the war. But now we in Vietnam War, the country expending all this money for this war that they're, not even winning. So now at the same time, you gotta think of it as the Vietnam. How did they get into Vietnam? Cause they had to go into one of the countries surrounding it, and the way that they could get it to there and do they politics with them, they had to go buy their drugs. Their main export was either heroin or cocaine. I can't remember which one. So then all of the drugs came back. They had to buy all these drugs from them so that they can send their troops into their land to go into Vietnam. And then they like, man, we got all these drugs. What we gonna do with them? We gonna start giving them to the black people. They just start giving them out. They start, of course they start, because black men, now they come back from the war. The jobs are gone, right? And this during the time that, like now it's not that, if your woman makes more money than you, it's still kind of looked upon as bad, but it's not as bad. You talking about 1950s and 60s, you were looked upon as like, you wasn't jack if you couldn't take care of your family. You was nothing. You wasn't even a man, right? That's how you was looked upon. So now what they got to go out and do, now they start going out hustling. We got to go grind. We got to go do what we got to get this money, right? So they start getting into selling drugs, start pimping women. And then at this point, once drugs came in, we all lost respect for one another. When we was building things, we loved each other, the man and women, because now here's what had to happen. The woman's being left there by herself. Just like men, women want to have sex too, right? Men want to have sex. So men going around sleeping with white women, Caucasians, like oppressor women. We going around laying with oppressor women. Black women, they want to be with, they want to be with the drug dealer because he's the only one that got a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? They want to be with him. So then now, she done got pregnant. Now sex is just not, it was more, I'm not saying that people didn't do their little thing or whatever, but it was more sacred than it was at this point. Then it just started becoming just whatever. And then here comes more feminism, that second wave of feminism starting to come, and now they starting to talk to our black women. They say in the air, man, you don't need black men. You know what I'm saying? Go get WIC. You know what I'm saying? Put them on child support. And then how was the only way that even black women could get any help back in these times? How did they have to get welfare? Anybody know? Had to kick them out. I think it was the Jeffersons. It was one of like the old shows back in the day. They showed it on there that, when they said, with the welfare people coming, you got to get all your crap out the house. They end up throwing the shoes out. You know what I'm saying? Can't like no man ever lived there. And that's how she was able to get benefits.
Salakia, sir.
Right.
If I may, that's extremely heavy because when you stop and think about that, it's like the government was saying, we want to keep him out the house, so we'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. Why would the government not want the man to be there so he could take care of it and the government didn't have to do it? Because they had the plan to find the strong man. That's
exactly.
all it was.
And guess who did that? Feminists. Feminists was talking to the government during this time. Margaret Sanger, that all of them love, like Hillary loved Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger started the Planned Parenthood because she didn't want black people to have children. She didn't do it. Like I've even heard stories of like when oppressor women, they go there to go and have, abortions. You'll go like I've heard this before. You'll go to a Planned Parenthood. There's a whole room a lot of times full of oppressor women. They showing them all of the stuff that they got to do to try to talk them out and having an abortion. But when it comes to our women, man, go and get in there. don't have that abortion, because that's what Planned Parenthood was set up to keep black women from having babies. That's why a lot of the Planned Parenthood is in our communities. Had nothing to do with nothing that the feminist movement had anything to do with was helpful for our women, because the thing of it is, feminism was not even started for black women. It was started for Caucasian or oppressive women, because they man was beating the hell out of them. Now all of that stuff, men beating women, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it was not to the same case as they try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I know even my family, and mine's, right? Black men, if they did do it, my grandma would even, she told me stories. She said, yeah, some men did it, but once they did it and that woman fought him back, he left her alone. Like my aunt or whatever, she was known for having the razors. As soon as the man got ready to do it, she'll cut him. So who's beating who in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Who's beating who, really? So I'm not condoning any of this, of course. I'm just saying that this stuff like The Color Purple and all of this was feminist movements to make it seem like all black men did was beat the hell out of black women, when that was really the oppressor beating his woman.
Right.
And it wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, of course you can't speak and say it never happened. I can't say it never happened, but it was not to the level of TV tried to have the propaganda to make it seem like it was always happening. So it made our women hate us. Like my mom, I don't think my mom ever told me a man ever hitting on her. And she was about 60. You know what I'm saying? And I think my grandma, I think I happened to her once. You know what I'm saying? And that's, like I said, it's not a condoning it at all, but, because that's the thing of you showing that you effeminate is you hitting on your woman in the first place, right? As we talk about the oppressors of femininity, is that he hitting on his woman anyway. Why do you feel like you got to raise your hand to a woman if you can't control her? You got to put your hand on the controller? That shows you effeminate, right?
Right.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay. I already said a lot of this stuff I was trying to say. Okay, so this is that's basically what all feminism is. It just feeds to women's, a lot of times their emotional instability. Because if you ever talk to a feminist for 5 seconds, like you start off talking about, the sky's blue, now, everybody dying and it's just tragic. It's like, how we get here? Because they're very emotional. Because you can't even be a feminist if you have any type of logic. There's even, I look at different things a lot of times in preparation for this. There was a movie called The Red Pill. Anybody heard that before? Well, basically, in a nutshell, it was an oppressor woman. She wanted to go and look at men's movement or whatever, men's activists, and she was a stone cold feminist. Like, she hated men to some extent. She hated the patriarchy. I can't stand that's down with the patriarchy. He was one of them, yelling, cut off all her hair, wanted to look as manly as possible. I don't know why. She was like that type of feminist. And then she started listening to it, and then she started like, dang. As she hearing logic, she can no longer be a feminist because it's not logical on what they're doing. Nothing is logical. It's all emotion. That's why every time you try to challenge them, what they always go to, shame, guilt, insulting you. You can't stay on the facts of what they're talking about, right? 5-second conversation, they go into insulting you, saying you shouldn't feel this way, you shouldn't do this, you know what I'm saying, you should feel bad for men doing this to women and all of this. That's how they make you feel, right? And then they can't ever say, "Oh my bad, I was wrong. Thank you for teaching me something different." Like you can't tell them that there's not a wage gap. Actually, for the same jobs, women actually get paid higher than men do for the same jobs. That's what they won't tell you. It's just that men are more aggressive, so our money is higher, overall. But a lot of times at the same jobs, women make about 3 to 4 cents more than men. Because just like if you have a business, let's be honest, you have a business, right? Who do you want answering your calls? Another dude next to you, or you want women next to you?
Right.
Let's be real. If you an employer, you want to have a whole place full of women. You want to have a whole place full of men. If it's like a white collar position, right? You want to have women in there, right? But if you were a construction worker, you ain't want no damn women in there. Ain't nothing gonna ever get done. It's being real, because it's not even that they don't want to do the work, right? They don't want to do the work. So,
Slacky, sir.
uh,
I was wondering, would it be safe to say that the feminist movement plays a very large role in this gender thing where they're choosing what gender they are, or where they're trying to say, I identify as this? Would that have anything to do with, from all of this, from the feminist movement leading up to now where people are saying, I identify as this, or I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, things like that? Would that link to
that's
that?
what it all comes from, that, man. All of that is linked with each other. It's because now the woman, she doesn't, like if she is any type of way feminine, and she likes men even to some extent, because because women, they could kind of bounce back and forth, right? That's, like women, they could be like, I like to have a little deal with women a little bit here today, and then be with men the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? They can kind of bounce around and do that. So when it comes to them, they want to have the gender chosen. That's all because of that, because guess what it all is? It's all confusion.
Right.
That's where it started from, right? Confusion. Eve got confused by the serpent. It's all just literally confusion.
Right.
And that's just starts from one place to another. And if you have to, and if they're going to be on that movement that they don't want gender roles, they don't want to have to not be a whore because they're a woman, then they got to let men that say no, they got a full beard, you know what I'm saying? Full beard and mustache, swole, and want to say, no, I feel like a lady. They got to let that in, right? Because they don't want gender roles.
Right.
So that's where all this comes from. Here goes another word that likes to be used. Read this.
Con. Mansplaining.
Mm-hmm.
Mansplaining, a blend word of man and the informal form splaining of the. I'm sorry, Salakia is a provocative. Is a provocative term meaning of a man to comment on or explain something to a woman in a condescending, overconfident, and over inaccurate and oversimplified manner. Author Rebecca Solnit.
I have to read that part. So basically, it's if a man is being himself. Because if a man explains something to a woman, like your woman, she's tripping about something when it comes to the bills, right? Or something to the point that you come to say, well, hey, babe, why don't you just do it like this way? You just simplified it for her.
Right.
They don't want you to do that. You just being a man.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with her tripping over something that something simple that's really not that big a deal. It ain't got nothing to do with her tripping over that, but she don't want you to explain it to in an oversimplified manner. Right. Well, that's just you being a man. So now they want you. What does that make you have to now do? You got to be a woman.
Right.
You got to come and say, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry you broke your nail." You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm so sorry this thing happened to you. Now you becoming effeminate. That's the only thing that has to happen here. Because this is what men do. It's not that they're trying to be condescending. You're not saying stuff in a condescending way. You're just saying, no, babe, calm down. Like brothers talk to each other like this all the time. Hey, man, calm down, man. Let me hear okay, here's what you do. And they try to simplify it so it's easy for them to follow. You're not being condescending or overconfident. We just calming you down because the thing that's so funny about it, what's the one thing that women love in a man? Confidence.
Oh my God.
Do you see how this whole thing don't make no damn sense? It's right. What I thought what the women want, confidence, right?
Right.
But if you overconfident, you mansplaining now.
Confusion, sir.
Exactly. There's another word, toxic.
So, like, if I may, sir,
Mm-hmm.
it's like when women say, I don't want the man to tell me what to do, but I want a man who's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah. All right, now it starts off as good. Read this right here.
I'm up here, sir. Toxic masculinity. The concept of toxic masculinity is used in academic and media discussions of masculinity to refer to certain cultural norms that are associated with harm to society and to men themselves. Traditional stereotypes of men as socially dominant, along with related traits such as misogyny and homophobia, can be considered toxic, due in part to their promotion of violence, including sexual assault and domestic violence.
Okay. Now, we're not condoning sexual assault or domestic violence. Let's get that clear, right?
Right.
But the whole part of it is that traditional stereotypes of men as socially dominant, you got to look at the words they use. Traditionally, stereotypes of men as socially dominant, and they want to add in misogyny, homophobia, because, you know, most men that are really masculine don't like homosexuals, right?
Right.
Right.
Just like women that, you know, are very sweet don't like bitches, right?
Right.
Bitches like bitches, correct?
Right.
They hang around. Well, they say birds of a feather flock together, right?
Okay.
So, of course, they don't like it. So, now they say in the promotion of violence, include, like I said, we not for that. You know what I mean? But then, read this right here.
Con. The socialization of boys in patriarchal societies often normalize violence, such as in the saying, boys will be boys, with regard to bullying and aggression.
So, a bullying aggression. So, they don't want men to be aggressive. It's really what they want. Now, of course, bullying, you know, bullying can be bad. I'm not condoning these things, but it's how these words are put. That's where you got to look at how these words are put. Is it talking about, this really isn't talking about men, that they're trying to save men. You have to look at that. They're trying to save homosexuals and women. It's not about men being protected. See what I'm saying? It's all about homosexuals. Because, and then the sexual assault. Why would a masculine man want to assault a homosexual sexually? It don't make no sense. So that's what it said, sexual assault. That's talking about men saying that they, because, you know, like I said, you're not supposed to rape women and all that. We get that, right? But it's just of what women, you know, saying this how you know that this is where it's going. It's going towards women being felt like this man, he's misogynist, this man is this. Like you say something to a woman, hey girl, come over here. You know what I'm saying? This how far they push it. Hey girl, come over there. You objectifying me. Or a woman come around with her breast out. Now I like the way you sit up in that bra. Now you misogynist. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to talk to women, all this like this, but you the one with your stuff hanging out, right? You don't want to be subtle. You don't want to be, you know, covered up. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Then we talk about the second way. It came from when we was getting all of the steam and moving and everything when it came to, you know, getting our civil rights. So I don't know, a lot of brothers don't know, but it was basically our civil rights was just hijacked by, this was one of the movements. It became for homosexuals and women. So when we were trying to fight as men to get our rights back, our rights were literally say, you know, you ain't gonna worry about them. We gonna get the homosexuals and women. We ain't gonna worry about black men getting their rights, right? So here,
It's Salakia, sir.
oh yeah,
You know, that right there is also what you're saying, because it goes back to the oppressor woman and the rights that they were trying to create for themselves, but also when they created, I believe it's called affirmative action. Affirmative action is basically what they've said has helped more oppressor women than anyone else.
yep. Helps them out more because if you notice, oppressor women get all the best jobs. I be like sometimes I just like I'll be watching stuff like they say like the American dream. Like you could literally see, like us for instance, black men and black women. You could look and be like, yo, I went to college for 4 years. I got my degree. I got all this, and I don't even work in my stuff. I'm making $50,000 a year. But the oppressor women, it seems like their income is just like ridiculous. They go through their 4 years, and I mean, hell, they get to travel, they get expense budget, they get a company car. I didn't know they still did that.
Right.
Give you a company car, travel you around the country.
Right.
They still do this, right? So
It's like in a big house with a pool in the back.
yeah, no, I'm talking about more so like what the company does for them.
Oh yeah.
The company, yeah, it's like I ain't know this stuff still exists. Like they travel, do they think? I'm like, man, I can see like some of our black women the same as good, right?
It's like they go overseas for.
Exactly. Go over there, get to see Dubai. Never see no black women over in Dubai. Never see that. Okay. Sometimes I look at my handwriting. I don't even know what I wrote myself. Okay. So, to kind of, there's your phone right here. To kind of like sum it up, the issue of it is women want the right. They want to be able to do what they want to do and not have no order. Nobody to tell them what to do, right? Does anybody know why women shouldn't be allowed to do whatever they want to do?
Salakia. I believe, sir, one of the reasons why is they weren't placed here to do that, number one. But number two, they're emotional and there's no structure.
I mean, you're right, but it's a little simpler than that.
It's like it's the Most High denied them wisdom.
That's not it. I mean, these things are true, but it's very simple. You know why? Because they don't know what they want to do. Oh, it's too late now. You too late out. Because they don't know what they want to do. That's why. They don't know what they want to do. A lot of times they don't know what they want to do from one day to the next. They don't know what they want to eat. So me and Ray had that issue all the time. What you want to eat? What do you really want to eat? Because I don't care. But you know how it is. So, yeah, on the side, I'm like, y'all, let me get some chicken. I had chicken on that day or two ago. I'm like, what they got to do with me? All right. So, but that's really what it is. They don't know what they want to do. So that's why they need men to guide them, right? Women do what they're told to do, right? Why do you think these black women joined the feminist women? They were told to. What was told to them? You don't need your man.
Right.
All you just get WIC. Get food stamps. They didn't come out this with their own mind. Just think about all the things that you see women do. Why do they do it? Their friend told them to. They'll see it. What would happen? Like they mad at you, you with some other woman. They over there with their friend. I mean, I caught so and so over here with this B. Okay, girl, you know we go light his car on fire. You go get the gas, I get the matches. She got told.
And so, like yourself, if I may, one of the other things that they listen to, other than just their girlfriend, is they listen to the black Christian pastor. That's the only
Black
man
Christian
that they
pastor,
listen to.
listen to him. You know, you don't need what they say. Get you a Boaz, not a broke ass. What they say?
Right.
No job ass. This, all that. Get you a Boaz. And then they listen to this music of other whores. You know what I'm saying? There's other women tell you just get you, date you a man that's, 60 years old just because he a baller, get pregnant by him, put him on child support, all of that, just all of that stuff. Literally tell you to get a man that make this amount of money so you can't put him on child support, right? Like, why do you think women end up stripping and being prostitutes? Somebody told them to do it.
Right.
Why do you think it happens? They was out there like, man, I don't got no money. I'm struggling out here. Girl, come out here and strip with me. Girl, come out here and walk out here, man. Shoot, in one night, I make $1,000. Just get you a couple condoms and we good. They got told to do it. How many times have you seen or heard women literally get told by their friends to do something and then that's what they end up doing? That's why they need to be told by their man what to do. Because if left to women by themselves, oh hell. That's why I said, that's why the Most High made enmity between their seed and, the devil's seed and their seed. He made it so they can't get along. Because if real talk, oppressed women and black women get together, it's destruction, man. Do you see just that simply? He got her to go against her own man. That's why you see even at camp, you talking to a black woman and you speaking to her at camp, and you see a devil go and talk to her in her ear, trying to get out. And you might get her some water real quick, Arsky, if you could. Or you know where it's at out? Yeah, he a young man, so can you mind getting us 2 bottles of water real quick? The water out. But yeah, and that's why that happens, because they literally they come in and try to separate you from your women. When you teach your woman good things, right? But then that's why you got to be even careful about where your women go to get counsel from. They'll want to go to these, oppressive therapists, and they go tell you everything with you what they ain't supposed to do. Man, go ahead, leave him and do all of this, do all of that. And, do this to him, make him do, all of this. And now you single. You ain't got a man no more.
And so, like yourself, if I may, once again, it's heavy what you're bringing out, because when you look at, for example, when you look at there's a young lady who apparently came down here for the NBA All-Star Weekend, and she had $400, thinking that she would get her money from her unemployment, but it didn't come through. So now she started a GoFundMe to make money to get back home. Had she had a man that she listened to, he would have let her know, you don't need to go, especially if you're going down there and you don't know if you're going to make it back. Because she wanted to go with her own ignorance. Now she's in a situation where she's stuck.
Yep. Need a man to guide her, right?
Come.
And you know why all of this stuff happens? Because people have fallen in love when telling women that they are gods. That's why you would see, even in the conscious community, they telling women you a god. They love telling that. Because you know why? You telling a woman that gives her what she feels she needs. And when you give what you feel she needs, she give you what you want, which what most people want is vagina. That's the only thing it is. Because the men that tell you that, they don't really love you. Right? They don't treat you better. I've never one time seen a man that says the black woman is God, all of a sudden treating women all good and all this stuff all the time. I've never seen it. Not one time. But I tell you, brother, said they treat their wives really well, right? Treat their wives like the princess that they are. That's what women are supposed to be. Your princess, not a queen, not a goddess. Then they supposed to be your princess. That means that she's subjected under your power, but you still protect that woman.
Right.
And you guide her and teach her. That's why you say princess and not no queen or no god, no goddess, right?
Right.
But here's the thing: if you have that woman there, she might have vagina. That's great, right? But the thing about it is, if she don't have protection and guidance, that decreases her worth. You get me? What is a woman worth that she gives, that she don't have the guidance to know you need to be with this man, this the man right here you need to be with, or this how you do this, how you do that. You don't need to mess with all these men. You know you're gonna have a man to protect her from that. Now when that happens is that's the man that's protecting somebody else from spoiling his goods. That's what the father is there for. He protects. You know, that's why we say you got to buy the strong man that come and take his goods, right? So that man that's protecting her, he's protecting that goods to keep it from spoiling, right? So, yeah. So, and you know, with Israel, we know we a patriarchy, right? And the thing about a patriarchy, a real patriarchy, not the oppressor's patriarchy, it actually saves and protects women, right? You don't see no women happy than our women. They feel safe and protected, right? All right. Give me Isaiah 3 and 12. No, that's Wikipedia. You gotta get on the iPhone, join, man. You gotta know how to work all of that.
Android, sir.
All right.
Khan. The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are your oppressors. The oppressor that we have over is a child. He ain't a grown man, he's a child. He's a child that's still mad because he sold his birthright to us. He sold it. So he's behaving like a child trying to get it back, right? That's why he wants to oppress. That's why he's our oppressor. Keep reading.
Khan. And women rule over them.
And women rule over us because we let them. We don't want to take over and be the man in our household, right? We let women rule over us, right? Because we love vagina that much. We love it that much that we let it rule over us. We make all our decisions on how to get more vagina, right? Not how to be a better husband. All of that, right? Keep going.
Khan. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. And
They which lead thee cause you to err. It means leads you into error, right? Keep going.
Khan. And destroy the way of thy paths.
And destroy the way of your paths. Because the people that lead you into these things, they lead you in destroying your paths you go in, right? Now one more. Give me 1 Timothy 2 and 14. Now, you don't know how to work it. 1 Timothy 2 and 14. Time is 8:46. Anybody else sign in on the call that I missed, other than Geshan and Makolak? All right. Just make sure there are no questions that I missed. All right, we're good to go. All right, read that when you got it.
Khan. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression.
So the woman that got deceived, she was a transgression. Adam was not deceived. See what I'm saying? So this just lines up back to what everything that was going on. That just to wrap it all up, Adam was not the one deceived. That's why men need to be over women and then be strong enough not to let her rule over you with her vagina. Which Adam let her rule over him because that's what she wanted. He didn't want to, eat the fruit, right? He didn't want to go against the Most High, but he wanted to keep his woman happy. See what I'm saying?
Kind of one time.
Keep going. Is that on that verse?
Kind of that was it on that verse, sir.
So, Adam, like I said, Adam was not the one deceived. It's harder for men to deceive other men. It is harder, right? But it's easy for that man because he can get a woman what you want. That's why men go around calling women queens, goddess. That's just what she loves. She loves to hear that power exude from his lips that he's submitting himself to her wills. That's why they say. That's why women love romance a lot of times because they feel like it's a man submitting themselves to them. You know what I'm saying? That's why they like all of that stuff. They like all of that. Roses are red, violets are blue. You know what I mean? So, any questions at all? Any questions at all?
Sir. Salakia. Take to our class, sir.
All right. And with that, I pass the class over to Priest and Officer I.S.U.P.K.
Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. start out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, means your camp leader. Tithes, which is a commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, 8 through 10. My Aishara, that means 10th in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department of teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. The next holy convocation is the Passover. They're going to be April 24th. Make sure it's $200 per person. Anybody who under 17, get in for free. Make sure you pay your Passover fee before you make any arrangements. Now with that, Israel, I bind them for the brothers. Give one courteous salute to the brothers and the teacher and the priests. Men of Israel, give one courteous salute. I might them Sabbat. I might them Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham. Well, what I say to you English is the Most High in the name of Christ bless you. Yat Matah means hand down. Stances. You go get on your right hand over your left, 45-degree angle. Head down, shame face to the Lord. When it say Barak, put your right hand on your chest. With that, Israel, give one curse salute to the sister in the room. Men of Israel, sorry, you turn. Okay, say that part. Men of Israel, give one curse salute to the sister. Men of Israel, I might them Sabbat. I might them Barak. Yahweh Shema Allah Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shema Allah Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Yat Matah Meaning hands down and class dismissed.